This is Armor 71. I have a new widget here called the unit chatter. It basically makes your units talk and kind of communicate with you. It's all for fun, obviously. Nothing really super serious. But it does kind of make things a little more livelier. Although it gets really lively in this game, obviously, by default. But if you hover or click on a unit, especially a mobile unit, and it will talk. It will give you a bubble.
Lending a hand.
So it'll say lending a hand.
Just don't send me to the front.
So depending on the type of unit, if it's a construction unit, it's gonna say, it's gonna say the construction unit ways to say and talk, different from a unit that fights.
Say the word. In position. Reporting. Sir.
So depending on the situation, if they're idle, if they're idle like this, the widget knows that they're idle, and it will have a different a group of phrases to say when they're idle. When they're fighting, also it's different. It's gonna say different things. If they spot an enemy, they'll say they spot an enemy. If they see a blip, they will say there's a blip. And there's several or dozens or even a couple of dozen variations of what they could say. In total, there's probably 7,000 plus phrases that they could say. And of course, I didn't do all of that individually. I had to help with AI. The AI basically created the files. First, it was in a wave format, which is pretty big. It was almost like half a gig, but then I converted to OGG. So 7,000 plus sound bytes it's around 150 maybe, something like that, megabytes. So it's fairly small in these today's standards. So the structures don't say anything, obviously. It's just these guys.
Go ahead. Metal. Time.
So I'm just hovering.
You called. Listening.
So you notice that they're saying different things. They don't repeat as much. Once in a while you do, but there's plenty of sound bites that it doesn't get too repetitive. So you notice that the T2 bots, they sound a little deeper.
Waiting on you. Awaiting instruction. Orders.
So just let me go back. Each tier has 9 versions of voices, and some of those, let's say, let's go to battle, for example. It's gonna have different voices. So none of these T2s will sound the same all the time.
Reporting, sir.
See how?
Parked and idle. Listening.
So they sound different. Just slight variations, but not enough to where they all sound like the same person.
Holding here. Waiting on you. I don't shoot an NOSR. What are we making?
Okay, so that's T2, and then let's go to T3.
You called. Go ahead. Say the word ready. Plugin and ready. Listening. Yes, sir.
Okay, so they're kind of deep. So the commander, you could hear the commander all throughout the game. He's like omnipresent commander because he does kind of give you key messages, like the perimeter has been infiltrated, and basically I set it up where if there's an enemy close to a APHIS or a lab, then he'll blurt out. So there's a difference between blurting out. Blurting out is when he just talks without you hovering over him. He'll just say, and all of these could blurt, and all of these could say something depending on the situation. But the commander is a special obviously setup where you could hear him. And let's say if you have all of these, units in the screen, only a third of them are allowed to blurt out. Meaning, when I say blurt out, meaning you don't have control of that. You just kind of say what they want to say. You could set that up. Actually, let's go to the code here. There you go. So let's see. There it is. So if you look, there's two settings here to set it up. So you have the, hold on here. Here's the chatty percent. Chatty percent, so I set it to a third. So if you have, say, 100 units in the screen, you're only allowing 33 of that 100 to blurt out something. So you don't want to, you don't want to overflood the game with people just blurting out everything if you set it to 100%. So to me, 33%, basically 33 out of 100, blurting out something important. Let's say they're getting beat, they're losing, I'm getting hit, I don't see where it is because it's out of their line of sight. They see a target, stuff like that. The blurting out is like 33 out of 100. You could set it up. You could put it to 20 if you want, or 50. So that's half. But there, you depending on you, if you want to hear more, you want to hear less. Okay, so that's one. And then another setting. So there's two important settings here. Auto speak gap. So speaking gap is basically I set to 4 seconds. You could change it to whatever you want. That basically means you don't want to have 2 units say something at the same time or overlap each other. So every time a unit says something, there's a 4-second gap until another unit says something. That way, you don't want to, you don't want to overwhelm yourself with a lot of these units saying a lot of things that becomes noise. It has to be a little more informational. So a 4-second gap per blurb is good. Okay, so those two. Now let's go back to the game now.
Awaiting instruction.
So it knows, it will say something different if let's say you move.
And it's up.
So when they say the word, you called, basically that's on idle mode. But if you set these guys to walk, they'll say something else.
Course laid in.
Course laid in.
Full speed.
Full speed. Let's go. Ready, because they're idle when you move them, and then you can highlight onward.
Rolling.
So depending on the situation, they will say something else. So just remember, there's 7,000 plus sound bites. Okay. For example, this guy, I build you win. So no, a grunt is never gonna say that. I build you in. This specifically for.
Don't send me to the front.
See, don't send me to the front because of course he doesn't have a weapon. He's a construction unit. Now when you click on this guy, guard. Okay. Assisting. So basically, he's telling you exactly what he's doing.
I'll take the other side.
He's actually assisting. Now let's. All right. So
Waiting on you.
okay, let me guard this guy. And then walk him, and then now I'm hovering.
For last time.
I'm escort duty. So he's actually telling you what to do. Okay. So I don't want to make this introduction long. When they're fighting, obviously it's gonna be a different. It's gonna be a different phrases when they're fighting. It's gonna be watch out, keep your head down. Let's say I got one in the chest, stuff like that. Also, when they get injured, depending on their health, if it's really really bad, like they only have 10% health or 20, the most of what they blurt out or say is gonna be on their health, because that's very critical. They're not gonna be saying it's a nice day while they're almost dying. There's a little bit of humor. So if you hear someone with 20% health, they're gonna start blurting out, like complaining, this was a wrong decision. I shouldn't be here. Pull me back. I'm gonna die. I don't even have a girlfriend yet. Stuff like that. All right.
Say the word.
So let's say let's see. What else am I gonna show you? So the phrases, just to get the kind of idea how extensive this is. Let's see. Okay. So the extensive part is, this is just a list of all the phrases that I have. So, for example, Doom is when a commander has very low health. He doesn't have any energy to D-gun, and there's 3 or more enemies within his line of sight. So he's gonna say those words right there for the commander. Okay. D-gun shouts. So when he enables his D-gun, you know how you control him and then you press D. He basically he'll say D-gun ready, disintegrator arm, and then when he's cloaking, he's gonna say cloaking, going dark. And you'll also see that for example, for sharpshooters that have the ability to cloak, you're gonna hear them say cloaking, off the grid, vanishing, stuff like that. So let's go quickly here. Base alert. This is only the commander, and you could hear it no matter where you are, not only while you're on the screen. He'll say something like enemy close, because he sees it, or there's radar approaching the base. So hostiles near base, enemy in the base under threat, perimeter breach, blah blah blah, commander, enemy. Okay, so damage. Again, this is for any unit that has 90% health. That means he's still good. He's only 10% damage. They're not going to blur it out. Okay, so just in order to keep things not crazy, anybody who's hurt, that's I think it was set to 40%. So if your health is above 40%, you're not going to be blurting out. You're fine. It's only a scratch. I'm rattled still here. Stuff like that. For a commander, minor damage, he'll say that. Now, hurt 70 it'll be a different. Hurt 70, they're going to say I have missing parts, lost some plating. But then these are not blurted out, okay? Because that's too much. What I want is to have them blurred out when their health is very serious. So let's skip all that to hurt 30. So if any unit is 30% health, they're close to dying, obviously. They're gonna blurt. I think they start blurting out around 30, if I forgot now, but they're gonna say something like I want my mother, mama, this is it, I can't see the light, get me out. Obviously there's a commander also. Hurt 20 is getting more funnier. I'm done, guys. I'm running out of fumes. I should have been a mix. Hurt 10 is very, very serious. I'm dead, bro. That's it. I'm gone. Lights out. Reclaim me later. This is it. Stuff like that. Okay. So there's a lot more to this. I can't cover all. But it's very extensive. It's for fun. And like I said, there were 2 settings there. You don't want to. Up to you if you want to raise it, but the blurting out is. Yeah, the blurting out is like 33% default. You could change it to less. One more thing that I forget is that it has a built-in. Oh, sorry. You know what? Let me get that out of there. Sorry. All right, so we're back here again. What was I saying? Okay, so the widget also has a volume, and I kind of keep it around 20, 22. You don't want it too loud because it's gonna be just like any radio. You know, I used to work in the airport, and everybody had a walkie-talkie, and everybody talks at the same time. It gets really ridiculous. So, of course, this is chatter. You know, when you're in the battle, is in the heat of battle, people are, you know, distressed and they're blurting out stuff. You know, it just kind of adds to the atmosphere, but at the same time, you don't want to overbearingly have them shout in your ear. So I usually put like 20 or even 15, something like that. At least you could at least hear them and understand what they're saying. Not too loud. That's for me. That's my you know, that's the way I like it. So anyway, this is again, this is unit chatter. This is fun. Just wait until you see them fight, and then they say funny things, and at the same time they, you know, they give you some pretty nice cues on what's happening on the battlefield and stuff like that. So yeah, I will give you here's the last thing here. I will give you the GitHub. So the GitHub, I will give you the link later, but this is the release right here. So it's a chatter 1.1, and then when you read this, it'll tell you where to install it. So basically, you have the widgets where you put the widget file, and then the sister folder of the widgets. There's a sounds folder that's not in the widget. It's within the same level directory as the widgets. It's called sound and speech, and then these are the files, for example. But of course, there's like 7,000 of them, but they're very small. You know, very small these days. It's like 100 something megabytes. So that's, to me, even in this day and age, it's kind of like, wow, 7,000 something, and it's only that much. It's not even a gig. It's like, it's not even 200 megabytes, right? So and then if you go down, there's an option though. If you just want the bubbles where you see, then you just download this. If you want the whole shebang, the whole thing with the audio, which is, I think, you know, that's why would you just get the widget? Get the sound pack. Okay, so the sound pack right here, look at that. I was wrong. It's 115 megabytes for 7,000. Oh, I'm wrong. It's 7,700, almost 7,800 files. That's basically every phrase. There's 7,800 phrases in 115 megabytes. So download this, have fun. And what I pointed out, don't forget to, if you like the way it's set up on default, fine. If you want to have them talk more, you know, talk less, then I showed you that, you know, editing the Lua file. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have fun, and until the next widget. Yeah, I called.